Hi friends, how are you today? Hopefully you all are good and fine. So I am back with my new video on Kubernetes uh, object creation. So before starting this session, my name is Nirmal Shankar and my channel name is Nirmal Technical on YouTube. So please like this video and subscribe my channel so that you can get notification if I uh, create any new video on YouTube. If you think it is good for you, if you learn something, so thank you. So what actually the session is about pod creation. So I would like to tell you some basic idea about pod. What is a pod in Kubernetes? Before going on lab, so as previously I shared with you two lab about Kubernetes, and first one was for Kubernetes cluster setup on worker and one master node, and then I shared with you cluster setup using a minikube. So basically, in Kubernetes, you know, guys, for a cluster setup, for a Kubernetes deployment, there is two methods. There are two methods. So one is for like Kubedium, using Kubedium, where we need at least one machine for worker node and one machine for master node. So in terms of machine, as we know that we can use like any cloud server VM, like AWS, GCP, Microsoft Azure, and where you can as a use like your local machine, like your system, a server, and also if you want, you can also use a Oracle VM, virtualized VM. So there are three methods, like whatever you have with you, so you can use based on that. Whatever you can use cloud server or your local machine or any server or any like a VM virtual machine on Oracle. And one more thing. So actually, my today's session is about how to launch a pod. So I would like to tell you about something pod. What is a pod? So basically, what is a pod in Kubernetes? So pod is a very smallest unit of pod, Kubernetes. So if you remember, friends, you know that in Kubernetes, uh, there are two like machine. One is for worker and one is for master. So, what are the components of master machine and what are the components of worker machine? You can say worker node or master node. So, you remember in worker node, there is a combination of like a pod, kubelet, kubeproxy. So, all functions about that I have already told you in previous session. What is the role of kubeproxy, kubelet? So, kubelet controls the node and the pod. So pod is a very smallest unit of Kubernetes and pod is group of a containers. Pod is group of a containers. So where we need to deploy, when we do deploy any container, so before set up a pod, we cannot deploy a container in Kubernetes. This is what I am telling you. So before pod, we cannot deploy a container. So deployment, we can deploy, yeah, you can say pod is two type. First one is like pod which is contains a single container, one container only, and so pod is having a pod contains more than one container. So more than one container you can deploy like two container, three container, four container, five container. Based on that, what you are using your node, you can say like machine, and also the resources, like what you have like RAM, what you have hard disk. So these are all the configuration setup. So depend upon the configuration setup, you can deploy the number of containers. So today I will share with you pod creation. So hopefully you guys have some now some basic idea about pod. So pod like is a group of container. So in Kubernetes, before creation container, we need to like also create a pod along with. Okay. So I will show you that definition of pod on Kubernetes official page. So what are the pods? So pods are the smallest deployable units of computing that you can create and manage in Kubernetes. Okay. So what are the pods? Pods are the smallest deployable unit because we can deploy pods on Kubernetes of computing. Computing like here that your node, worker and master node. Okay. So you can create and manage in Kubernetes. So today lab I will show you on cloud cloud AWS instances. So first of all, what I will do. Uh, for pod creation, you can set up a cluster in both ways. You can create deploy a pod on both setup. Either you can deploy on using Minikube, help of Minikube, where we need only just one machine. Either you can also deploy using Keybind, where we need to at least two machines, one for worker and one for master. So before pod creation, first we need to deploy, we need to install anyone, whatever you want. So guys, I will share with you today uh, using Kubernetes, where we need to install, where we need to deploy one for worker and one for master. So let's start that our lab, and thank you. So you guys, you can see this is my AWS account where I have already logged in that AWS account. So as we know, for the cluster setup using Minikube, using a Kubernetes is like a tool software. So we need one worker and one master node, one worker node, one master node. So what we will do, we will launch two instances. So let's start and run. So when you log in that account, your AWS account, so where we need to go first, and we need to go on services. When you click on services, so I already share with you, but again I am telling you. So where how we can launch a AWS instance. So there you can see recently visited EC2 virtual servers in the cloud. So click on that. Okay, instance running. You can see here instance running is 0 because we did not launch any machine, any instances. So click on launch instances. So today I will put name Kubernetes. Kubernetes. Either we can do one thing. I will provide the name of that machine master node. And one more thing, if you remember guys, for master node at least we should have two virtual CPU and two virtual GB RAM, 2 GB RAM. So live is on use server Ubuntu, and I will 20.04. I have already 22.04, which is the latest one Ubuntu server, but I will use Ubuntu server 20.04 because I have tried using this server so smoothly. I did not found like more like any issue with this. So I will try this. Okay, you can also try using that one 22.04, no issue. But might be during that live installation some issue or some problem you can face. So what I did, I put the name of that machine, so master node, name of the machine master node. What I use that OS image, Amazon machine image, Ubuntu, okay. Then Amazon machine 20.04, okay. This is a free trial eligible account, okay. But here stance type, as we know, for master at least we need two virtual CPU and 2 GB RAM. So I use this one T2 medium, 2 virtual CPU, 4 GB RAM. Yes, we need a 2 virtual CPU and 4 GB RAM, not 2 GB RAM only. So this will be, it will charge somehow very kind of less amount because the lab will be not more than at least 1 hour. So okay, it will charge something because this is not a free. You can see free that is one CPU and 1 GB. But here I will use this combination. Two virtual CPU because we need a two virtual CPU, so two virtual CPU and 4 GB RAM. Okay, and key pair. So I need to create a key pair. So here I will put master. Okay, master node. Create key pair. Then allow access traffic. Okay, all allow HTTP. Allow HTTP. Here you can say number of instances one. You can either increase, but for worker I will not use that combination two virtual CPU 4 GB RAM because for worker node you can use only one CPU and 2 GB RAM. So why I will use this, and it will again charge more something. So worker you can use only free tier account eligible combination instance type. So you can check I have taken that name of that machine master node, server Ubuntu 20.04 and T2 medium because we need a 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM. Keep your name so master node. Now let me launch this instance. Okay, creating security group, everything is ongoing now. You can see it is successfully launch log. Okay, go on that instances till I will again create another instance for that worker. So going on again launch instance, put here the name, put here the name. So worker node Ubuntu, and at this time 20.04. Okay, you can see at this time I use only free tier eligible 1 CPU 1 GB, but it is sufficient for worker, but it's not for master. Create new pair again. So I will put that name worker. Okay, create key pair and allow access traffic, allow HTTP, allow HTTP traffic from the internet. Okay, here number of instances only one, and let me launch this one also. So launch instances. Okay, go on that EC2 instances. refresh it. Okay, showing only one. Not worry. No need to worry. Hmm. Yeah. So you can see the master node is ready and the worker node is initializing because I just started this machine. One more thing I need to do. So what I need to do, I will select this machine going on security and then select security groups. I need to do setting one thing. What I will to check setting, edit inbound rules. Okay, I will allow all the traffic to this machine. So all traffic, custom anywhere, and save rules. Same thing I will apply for that also mas- master node. The security, click on that security and security groups. Guys, you know what I'm doing here? Actually, I am providing the all traffic because I will open both these VMs on of Ubuntu. You can say both VMs or both server on outside this cloud server on putty terminal or in any other software which I am having with me. So there should be no any problem with communication. Otherwise, sometime what happens like there might be create any problem when I will fire the command. Whatever I will do anything, so that time it will not will run. So this is the what I am doing here. So I am allowing the traffic to that both VMs. So edit inbound rules. Same thing I need to do here also. Add rules, custom IP. So all traffic and allow anywhere IP4 and save rules. Now both machines are ready. So first I will open that master node. I will launch this master node VM on putty terminal. So what is the process of that? Select this public IP4. So copy this public IP and as I told you before, when I shared with you that lab on AWS cloud server. So for putty, you can set as for VM access via putty. We needed two software. One is putty, one is putty Gen. Okay. So open that putty Gen. Load this. Load that key. What I have downloaded just earlier. So I will select master node. Yes, master node and open it. Okay. Say private key. Okay. And desktop master. So this is master node. Now same thing I need to do for also worker node. So again open that putty gen. Click here on load and download. So here I need to do change settings. So all file select, then worker node, open, okay, and save private key, yes, and desktop worker. Now both key is ready for to use. So going on cloud server, AWS. So first I will open this master node, public IP, open putty, copy that IP and paste here and select on SSH, and there you can see auth and browse. So master, this is the master node, so I selected at master because I prepared this key for this key master from master machine on AWS. So open it and launch this machine. Yes. Okay, so what I will do, I will change the color of this master node. Color, change setting, appearance, colors, default brown, modify, and that green color. Okay, okay, and apply. Yes. Now you can see I host access that this master node cloud machine. Yeah, you can say cloud server, virtual cloud server or master node having Ubuntu operating system. I have access this machine are here putty. Okay, now I will do the same thing for worker node. So what I will do, I will copy this public IP. Remember, whenever you have to launch that VM, you need to copy that public IP, not private. But when you have launched successfully on putty, so you can see that it will show you like a private IP. Okay, let me share with you. Let me show you. Okay, let me do again login putty, paste here, SSH, auth, browse, and this time I will use this worker key. Open and open. So what I'm doing here, putting the sudo so it is the basic thing what I'm doing. So I am giving the root privilege to my user. Okay, I will change the also color of this machine. Color, default, modify, and let me select this color. Yes. So remember, don't confuse this. Green is for work master node. Yes. This is a master node and this is a worker node. Okay. So going on the command setup commands. So these are the setup commands. These are the setup commands. So from starting from here until this, we need to fire these commands on both worker and master. Different is that which machine you want to ready as a master node, you have to fire that additional command kubeadium initialization init. Okay, and one more thing, that machine which you are going to prepare as a master node, there must be two virtual CPU or two CPU and 4 GB RAM. It is the basic requirement for master node. So it doesn't mean like whatever you want, just you fire that command. If the machine is having a less than 4 GB RAM and less one CPU RAM, so it will not successfully complete cluster setup. So moving forward, so I will first what I will do, I will update that Ubuntu server. one to machine. So first, let me fire the command here, and the same command here. Then let me take that this one command. Okay, okay. So till time, you guys might be were thinking till time I didn't start our uh, lab agenda pod creation, because before pod creation we are create we are like a setup a Kubernetes cluster setup. So pod creation will start from here. So I will tell you the same. Also I will share with you. No issue. So now I will install the packages, transport HTTP curl packages on both master and worker. Okay. Now you guys, one more thing. What is the Kubernetes? So Kubernetes actually manages the containers. So for container, where is so for container we need also any container engine. So container engine Docker, there another container engine. So here you can basically you can say like con Kubernetes Kubernetes is incomplete if not there like any container engine. You are getting. So Kubernetes, there is no any role of Kubernetes if that there is no any any container engine. So before without Docker, without any container engine, Kubernetes is nothing. No use of Kubernetes. Kubernetes. Okay. So now I will install Docker on both machine. Now I will start that Docker service on both machine. Okay. So systemctl start Docker. Now Docker service will be start and enable the same. Okay. Now what I will do? I will download a key. So what is the role of that key? Actually, key like a mediator between both master and worker. Identification so that both machine can communicate to each other using that key. That both machine like you can say for eligible to talking to each other. They have the identity itself for to talking to each other. Okay. So let me download on this first master. And one more thing. Actually, this session I already shared with you. Today I imagine pod creation. So before pod, I am preparing. I am setting a cluster setup. So Control X, Y, and Enter. Here you can say there are two commands because I have added both commands in particular one. This command what See, in a Linux platform, in Ubuntu Linux platform, whenever you want to run one or more than one command in a single like execution, so what you can do, you can add a command plus plus using end. Okay, so this command, what is the role of this command? This command you can use, you can add like a key, apt dash key dot gpg, and then again you add key and run that is like you will download that key from your packages cloud.google.com, like in a official page, and then you will add that key, and this is for like a Kubernetes list of file creation. Okay, so what I have done, actually I have added both command in a like both commands in a particular one, so that machine will take for it will fire it will use like for both. First it will add key, and then it will create a file. So same thing I will do also on worker node. Enter. Then genial package, you can see here it is genial package, Kubernetes dash genial man. So what I will do here, I simply copy and paste here. Then what you need to do on your system, so caps lock should be on, control X, then Y, and then enter. Now fire this command on both. Okay, enter. And also I have to do swap off on both machines. Swap off. Okay. Now for master, I will prepare that master node, how I will fire these commands. Now I am going to Kubeadium initialize on master node. So you know guys, you know, remember that is the master node. Control L. Let me, yes, enter. It will take some time because for Kubernetes cluster setup, it will pull that some you can say dependencies image required for that setting up a cluster. Yes. So I need to copy this command and paste here. Actually, I need to execute these three commands here in this machine. So, but before it, you can see here is the one command. Then you can join any number of worker nodes by running that following on the each as a root. So I need to copy this command. This command I need to copy from this output, and what I will do, I will do paste here. Actually, I need to fire this command on worker node for joining the cluster. Okay. Now what I will do, actually now I will show you these commands. Mkdir, as you know in Linux, mkdir means file creation, then copy, and then provide that executable. Sudo cp means copy, and mkdir, you know that there is a file creation command. So I have already written these commands on here. So what I will do, I will fire these three commands in one shot. How? Yes, of course you can see. Enter. Okay. Now I will run this command. So guys, here I'm doing here. I am doing cluster setup using Kubedium. This is not example of Minikube. This is example of Kubedium, for where we are using a one master node and one worker node. Now cluster setup is successfully done. So what I will do now, I will run this command on worker node. This is my worker node. You can see that starting the kubelet. So you remember what is the role of kubelet. So kubelet do control that node. Okay. So you can see waiting for the kubelet to perform. What does kubelet? Kubelet to perform the TLS bootstrap. Okay. So here you can see this node has joined the cluster. So this worker machine has joined the cluster. So what is the cluster? So cluster is group of nodes. So already you can say master and worker are now synchronized to each other. So how you can verify now cluster is successfully done? So just let me fire the command. What the fire the command? Is this one. kubectl get nodes on the control plane to see this node join the cluster. Okay. So now let me run that command. kubectl get nodes. You can see. Yeah, let me check that color here. I think very green. Change setting colors. I can use this one. But I used for worker node. It seems red something like that. So it should be some different. Okay, apply. Modify. This one I will use. Okay, and change setting appearance change. Oh, change setting. Yes, no, okay. Because now I will create a pod on that because master. So control L. Okay. Now you have guys, you can see like cluster setup is successfully done and worker and master both machine are under cluster are synchronized. So kubectl again I will fire command get nodes. Here you can see both machines are ready. This IP for master node and this IP for worker node. So if you want you can also show you going on that our machine. If I click at that master node, so you can see master node private IP is 172.31.6.93. So 172.31.6.93 this is for master and the worker 44-251. So in worker you can see 44.251. Okay. Now I will show you the today agenda mainly. So you guys know that I already told you like creation of pod. So how will I create a pod? So Kubernetes for pod creation, actually we will use a manifest file. We will prepare a manifest file, and then I will fire the command. I will create a manifest file, and I will define the like instruction. I will define the like metadata and a kind something. What are the objects? So pod is an object. So I will define everything in manifest file. Then I will deploy that. Okay. So first, as I told you, as I earlier told you guys, like I will show you both taking both example. That first one pod having one container, and secondly pod having the two container. So more than one container, you can two, three, four, whatever you want. So let me to create a first file, manifest file. So what is the command? So vi pod dot xyml. So some basic things before creation a pod, I let me share with you. So before pod creation pod, uh, I we need to actually we need to understand what are the like these key points. What are the like components? So kind. So what kind of object you want to create? So what kind of object I want to create a pod? So I will write here is pod. What is the API version? So API version is V1. Metadata. So what is the metadata? Metadata is like a identity of that object, uniquely identity of the object. So here in terms of pod, I will define the name of that pod. Okay. And specification, what state you desire for the object. So basically in pod, you know pod, what is the pod? So pod is nothing something like pod is a group of containers. So basically our agenda is to create a pod. Obvious, I will going to create a pod. So what pod contains? So pod contains in itself containers. So in specification, I will define a containers, a name and command something. Okay. So let me let me create a let me deploy a first file. So kind, press I on your system. Now it's an insert mode. Kind, so pod, then API version. So here in API version it is a V1, and metadata. So metadata is what like pod name. So one more thing, when you are writing this kind API version metadata, it should be like this. But when you going to under any like child and subchild, so metadata, then what is the name? So name is the after name is like a subchild of metadata. So name. So what do you want to define a pod name? So kind, what you want to create object? So I am going to create object pod. Okay, then API version is V1. And metadata, so metadata like it is unique identity of that object. So unique identity I will use as a name. So name of the pod is like whatever you want, I will put my name. Okay, Nirmal. Then specification. So specification, I'm going to create a container actually in pod. So here I will put that containers, containers, containers. Okay, containers. So now what I will do, I will define the name of containers. So hyphen name. So containers name, what you want. So containers, anyone you can put, you can define a name of container. So I will test container. Test container, same. Okay, then image. So what image you want to create a container? You remember in Docker, I said with you, for a creation of container, you need a image. Okay, so container creation, you need an image. Either it can be a CentOS, either it can be Ubuntu. There are so many images on or Docker Hub, Docker library. So image Ubuntu, then command. Okay, so you remember slash bin slash bash. I also written here, so if I can check, no issue. You can first write down or your notepad or something, and then you can write here manually if you think that something is going wrong, so you can cross check. Firstly, you will have to. If I suggest, firstly you write down that manifest file on your notepad something. Okay, then hyphen C. Now while true. So while true, it means if container is successfully runs, then do echo. It means hit what hit do echo like India is India. Okay, then sleep. So sleep here. I want to give the time 1 second. Then done. Inverted comma close. Okay. And so I have written that manifest file. Kind object is pod and the API version v1. The name of pod Nirmal and the container's name that test container and the image Ubuntu. Command is like this. Okay, and the restart policy. So what is start policy? So I want to define a container start policy. So never. Okay. So restart policy never. Okay. Then press on your system ESC. So our manifest file is ready. I will tell you again kind. So what kind, what object you want to create? Pod. Then API version v1 metadata. So what is the name of the enter metadata? You want to define the name of that object. So name is Nirmal, and then specification to what exactly you are going to create a sub object you can say. So I am going to create a container in that pod. So here I am going to create a one container. So container name is test container, image is Ubuntu, and command slash bin slash bash if you remember in Docker. And then while true, so if container successfully run, then what you want to run that in container. So I want to run that do echo India. Then now press ESC and you want to you know guys, after writing this manifest file you need to press WQ in editor file, WQ and then enter. So our manifest file is ready. I have written the content of in manifest file. Now what I will do, I will apply. So there is two things. Either you can run that command kubectl create, either you can apply kubectl apply. So I will run that kubectl apply. Now actually now our today the their lab agenda now I am doing here just now. I'm going to create a I'm creating a pod now. Okay. So kubectl apply -f pod.yml. So what is the problem here? Metadata. Oh my god. It should be metadata. Metadata. Yes. Now it's successfully created. So Nirmal, you can see the pod which is having Nirmal name, it's successfully created. So let me check kubectl get pods. But it's showing error. What is the error? Kubectl get pods hyphen o wide des describe hyphen o kubectl get describe pods normal hyphen o and wide. The server does not have a resource type describe. Okay, wait. Actually, I should not use the command get. Control L cube ctl describe pods pod number hyphen o and wide. Kubectl describe chef slash bin slash bash. Let me check that again. File. Kubectl describe pods. Kubectl get pods. Where is the problem? Kind pod API version. API version is v1. Metadata name Nirmal. Specification is containers. Name test container. Command is slash bin slash bash. Okay, slash bash while true. Do echo India. Okay, might be this is creating a problem. This time what I need to do, change that container name again and also that pod name. So I have, because this time what it was created, so if I will do run that this file again, so it will show you any another error, because it will show like this pod is already existing. So I just change that pod name Nirmal 1 and the container name Nirmal test container 1, and let me run again. So kubectl apply pod dot normal must specify. Okay, yes, kubectl get pods. Yes, yeah. So now successfully pod created Nirmal one, and this is a running. What I will do, I will delete this one, first one, which was created and having the status error. So kubectl delete pods and pod name Nirmal. Now I will run that command. It will show only one. Okay, Control L. So you can see successfully Nirmal one pod created, and you know what is the meaning of one by one. So one by one it means there is a one container in that pod which is successfully run. So kubectl describe pods and pod name. Yes, that time there was a problem. That's why command was not showing output. That was some problem in that pod. So you can see I fired Control L. I will fire that command kubectl. First kubectl describe pods, and what pods. Actually I have just created a pod Nirmal one and fire this command. So you can see yes. So I have fired this command. So what is showing here? Name Nirmal one. So this is the pod name. Namespace is default node. So node, guys, I just created a one pod using a one container. But where it is created, like on which machine, on which. So you fire the command master node, but exactly this is like pod is existing. A pod, you can say pod deployable unit on worker node, not on master. So you can see this is a worker node IP, not master. If you want to see IP and address, let me show you here. So this is a worker node IP 172.31.44.251. So when you fire this command 172.31.44.251. So actually the node, the object, like the pod is created on node. Which node? That is a worker node. So you remember you actually master node is for controlling the node. Master, what the role of master node? What is the role of control node? So actually it controls the worker node. But where is it created? So pod is successfully created on worker node. Now again that start time, so it's just created 17th Jan 2023, and it's showing here successfully running. You know guys, what is this IP? So this IP for worker node, and this IP actually connects to pod. You remember guys, if you remember that IP is assigned to pod by kubeproxy. So what is the role of kubeproxy? Kubeproxy does, what does kubeproxy? Kubeproxy assign a IP to pod. Then you can see that container. So container name is test container 1, container ID this, image is Ubuntu, and it is showing here running. And you can see while true do echo India. I will show you one more thing, two three commands, firing two three commands, and type status. So initialize true ready means while it is successfully container is successfully created and running. Okay, and finally last you can see this is the events. Meanwhile, how this pod created, how this container created. So these are the steps you can see. So what happened first? The cube scheduler first what does like successfully assigned default Nirmal one. But this is the pod to which node? This node. One more thing, because here is only example for one worker node. Let's see if you are deploying one master node, three worker node, four worker node. So you can identify actually where is this pod is assigned to that which machine, which node. Because in this example, we know that only one machine, only one machine for worker node. So obviously this will attach, it will assign to that machine. Otherwise, if you are having the like three worker node, four worker node, so you can identify from here also. These are the some other commands also you can see that. So this is a worker node which is that Nirmal one container, Nirmal one that pod which is assigned to this worker node. Then what? Again that what step was taken again, that pulling image Ubuntu, then it pulled the Ubuntu, successfully pulled image Ubuntu, then created container. So test container one created and now it's successfully run. Okay, so pull control N cube ctl uh, get nodes kubectl get ports Nirmal one. So you can see that is a pod and one by one running and start 0 and age. So when it was just started, what is the what is the time of when we created from that since that time? So 6 months to 6 not 6 months, sorry, 6 minutes 23 seconds ago. Now it will increase the time, 6 minutes 46 seconds. So this is the basic thing what you can check. Okay, that again I will fire that one command cube ctl logs hyphen f and that pod name. So Nirmal one. So you can see it is echo. What is doing here in container? It is running India, 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 because I just defined that manifest file India. So Control L, cube, ctl, logs, hyphen f, and the pod name. So Nirmal one. Now one thing, if in your pod, here is the example for one container in this pod. Let's say if you have created two container in particular one pod. So if you want to see which container on like what you have deployed in a particular container, what services is running on, what services is going on. So pod is having two containers. So you have to put the name of pod Nirmal logs, kubectl logs hyphen f Nirmal one. That is the pod name Nirmal one. Then you have to given that container name, which container you want to see. So hyphen c and the container name is test container. CONTAINER1. So you can see also in what is running in container. So India is running in container, like India do echo, like it's showing here India, 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 and that container, because I have already defined that in manifest file. So Control Z. Now let, as earlier as you in starting of video I said with you, I will show you both example. First one having one container, in second one having two container. So let me do write again file vi pod dot xml qa. Press I and this time kind I will again write down pod, then API version. Guys, just allow me 1 2 minutes.